Texas independence leads to the new republic. Texas independence. The Treaty of Alaska. There were two. First treaty. War was officially over and Texas is independent. Santa Anna would not take up arms against Texas. All Mexican forces would withdraw beyond the Rio Grande. Prisoners would be exchanged. Mexicans would return all captured property, and Texas leaders would return Santa Anna to Mexico. The second treaty, a secret. Santa Anna would be released immediately. Once free, Santa Anna would convince the government that Texas is free and that the Rio Grande was the official border. Question. What was going to be the official border between Texas and Mexico? Answer. The official border between Texas and Mexico would be... Pause the video and answer this question, please. Texas election of 1836. The election of 1836. President, Sam Houston. Vice President, Maribel B. Lamar. Secretary of State, Stephen F. Austin. He would die of pneumonia while in office. Congress elected senators and representatives. The court system was 1 Chief Justice and 4 Associate Justices. The capital would be Houston. Annexation, voted, which means voted to seek U.S. Annexation. They wanted to be annexed or taken in by the United States. Question. Who was elected president of the Republic of Texas? The person elected president was fill in the blank. Pause this video to answer the question. Houston's first term. He faced an unruly army, so he created the Texas Rangers. They defended the frontier. There was a poor economy. Texas owed $1.25 million and tried borrowing money from the United States. But because they were not recognized as a country, they did not get this money. There were still conflicts with American Indians. Because he, like the Indians, he set aside land for the Cherokee. And there was no clear land policy. There were lots of land for people to take, and there was no policy on how it would be divided up. Texas wanted to remove all Indians, even if it meant by force. Why? Because they wanted their land. Houston supported a peaceful solution. He did not want an Indian war. He established a line of forts along the frontier and encouraged trade with the Indians. The economy was poor. Texas imported more things than they exported, although Texas was a rich land. They were rich in land. Texas manufactured few goods and therefore had to import a lot of things. Question 1. What was one of the issues Houston faced when he became president? One issue was fill in the blank. Pause this video to answer the question. Question 2. How did Houston want to deal with the Native Americans? Houston wanted to fill in the blank. Pause this video to answer the question. The Texas Rangers. Rangers were to defend the settlers and the frontier after the Revolution. The Texas Rangers have served Texans since the earliest days. The Rangers helped transform Texas from a wide open territory into an independent republic and then into America's 20th state. Today, more than 175 years after their founding, the Rangers continue to serve and protect the citizens of Texas. You see here, this is celebrated Ranger Sergeant James B. Gillett on his horse, Dusty. These two gentlemen are Texas Rangers George Black and J.M. Britton. Both served in Company B of the Frontier. Question: what was the main reason for Houston to establish the Texas Rangers? The main reason Houston established the Texas Rangers was fill in the blank. Pause this video to answer the question. Texas settlements continue to be in East Texas, made up mostly of farmers and ranchers, and they stay close to the United States. Here you see a picture of some early settlers of Upshur County, Texas. Lamar's presidency. He was elected in 1839. He set aside land for public schools and universities. He became known as the father of Texas education. Some policies of his: the Homestead Law. This protected a family's home and up to 50 acres of land from seizures and debts. Indian policy. Lamar disliked Indians and wanted them removed. In 1839, he ordered the Cherokee to leave Texas, but they refused. He sent approximately 500 soldiers to push them out. Fighting broke out along the Neches River. Redbacks. This was paper money certificates, but was not the solution for a growing financial problem Texas was facing. They didn't have any way to back that money. Question 1. What was Lamar known as? Lamar became known as blank. Fill in the blank and pause this video to answer that question. How did Lamar want to deal with the Native Americans? Lamar did or didn't like the Native Americans and blank. Circle 1, did or did not, and fill in the blank. Pause this video to answer the question. At this point in our notes, who do you think was a better president, Houston or Lamar? Answer the question and pause the video. Houston's second administration. He began working on peace treaties with the natives, continued trading and set up posts, and tried to balance the budget. Relations with Mexico was one of the greatest challenges the Republic faced. Mexico did not accept Texas as being independent. Therefore, Texas wanted other nations to recognize them or officially accept Texas as being independent. They were trying their best to get U.S. to recognize them as independent, but it would not be until 1837 that the U.S. would recognize them as independent, but no annexation yet. France was the first to recognize Texas as independent. Then other nations followed. European nations followed France. They were the first to make trade with Texas and to help them. Why do you think it was so important for Texas to get foreign nations to recognize them as an independent nation? Gaining foreign recognition was important because blank. Pause this video and fill in the blank. This is the end of the video. Please submit all questions. Please submit your responses as soon as you are finished. Thank you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.